Today we're going to be covering the 2021 Lexus IS300 all-wheel drive, but this time from inside the car. We're going to be doing an in-depth interior review, so looking through all the menus, all the different buttons, and see what it's like inside this car. So let's get started. We'll start off with the driver's door, where we have a frame on the outside here covering the window. Some cars nowadays don't have a frame here, it's just the window that goes up. Go down here where this is that faux leather. It's somewhat soft, there's really not that much give. It's more erring on the side of hard, if I'm completely honest with you. But you're not really going to be touching this part. We have our, this is unlocked, this is locked with the red symbol in there. I haven't seen that in a long time, but Lexus has it here. We have a nice, you know what, I was going to say this is metal, this is actually plastic. It looks like it's metal, but it's definitely plastic. Plastic on the outside here as well. We have a sort of indent here, which covers this part here. Moving down to the bottom, this is very soft. The inlay here for leather. This gets a little harder. This is much softer, as you can hear that the padding, harder. Going up here. This red leather here, where we have our, where you're actually gonna be resting your arm. Very, very soft. We have this piano black material here, which you can see there's a lot of stains that come off, but it does look really nice. We have our window switches, one touch up and down for both, but these are plastic. Our unlock, our lock, our, if you press this button, you can't have anybody opening or closing the windows unless you turn this off. We have our mirror controls to left, right, and then use this to move the mirror up and down, left and right to adjust your mirrors. Go down here, again, more faux. You can hear that that's hollow because we have the storage space here, but again, this is hard. We have our light here. Speaker, interesting design. It's a circle, the smallest circle. This is kind of raised, interesting. So we have our drinks can go here. We have a little bit of storage here. Kind of ends pretty short, doesn't go all the way in there. So, but decent amount of storage, but you do have a place there for a drink, which is nice. You also have cup holders on the inside, we'll show you, but that covers our driver's door. Going into the front seats, I think it's really the color here that gives this car such a nice look. I love a gray outside with a red interior. Makes it look really, really nice. The seats themselves, nothing too crazy, but the black on the outside, the red on the inside makes them look really, really nice. So there's not really any style to them, but the color is what gives them that sort of pop, that sort of style. So if they were black, really wouldn't be anything to look at, but because they're red with the black, makes it look much nicer. So we have a headrest here, which we can adjust with this little button here. You just press that, move it up and down. So you have there. We have our perforations here. This car can be equipped with heated and cooled seats, but this one does not have that, which we'll go into. We have our bolstering here on the side. We also have the perforations here on the bottom. Bolstering here. And then our controls here on the bottom. So since we don't really have too many of the options, we can just go backwards, forwards. We can tilt this part up, tilt that part down. You could also go to the back, tilt the, let me tilt it up, tilt the back up, tilt the back down, or you could move the entire seat downwards or move the entire seat upwards by pressing both. This part here, we could just move back and move the seat back, or we can tilt it forward and move the seat forward. And it's really it for that one. So that's just adjusting the back part here. Going to the footwell, so we have a plastic dead pedal here. Nice rubberized grip here on the brake. And this is actually plastic, but a harder plastic. So you can discern, I'm guessing, from the brake from the gas, but they're all sort of different type. This is more of a very soft plastic, rubberized plastic, and then hard plastic. And we just have a Lexus floor mat here. The other thing I have to mention is this sort of protrudes out. I haven't, when I've driven this car, I've had it for a couple of days now. This doesn't really bother me since my leg kind of goes over this. Still interesting, this part, usually most cars is flat, so I'm sure this is there for the drivetrain or something else that's in there, but it doesn't really bother me. I'm sure if you're smaller, maybe not as tall, I'm 6 foot, so if you're shorter, you have to move the seat forward. This might cause some issues. Now sitting inside the IS300, this is the door that we just went over. Show you guys the B pillar here. We can adjust the seat belt. We have that vest material here, our handle. This is very interesting. They have plastic here on the outside, but this actual part here is it's rubber. It's not leather. It's a rubberized grip. I've never seen this before on the handles here above the driver. So this is something new. I've never seen it in any other car before. So a neat touch. We have the same sort of vest material here for the A pillar. Then we'll go down here. We have our vent here. Nice design. So open, twist to close, and you can move it around. So you have a silver trim on the outside. Black on the inside is just plastic. We have a vent in there also. This actually protrudes really far out, and this is kind of going to tie into what I'm going to mention in the entire cabin. I guess I can mention that now, is it's a nice place to sit for sure. It does feel at times, at least when I first got in, a little bit claustrophobic, and the reason is that this protrudes out, this entire centerpiece protrudes out. Don't get me wrong, it looks very nice. It's just with the center console rising up here and being really close to you, and this part protruding out, it does feel like you're sitting very close to the dash, as opposed to most other cars. It's kind of the first thing that hits you. But again, those look really nice. I sort of got used to it by now, by day 2, by day 3 of, you know, being with this car. But that is just something to keep in mind. Very interesting from Lexus. This part is pillow soft. I mean, it is so much give. Look at that. It's the most give I've ever had. I am not sure why this is here if no one's ever going to be touching this. That's actually even softer than here where your armrest is, or center here. This is actually pretty soft, but this is by far the most give and the softest part. I am not sure why it's there, but you do have the red stitching there, which is very nice. We have our rear dash all over there, a speaker all the way in the back, and then not much else. We have the screens here, which we'll go over when we turn on the car. But first, we're going to go over the steering wheel. So, not too much give. It's soft, but it's a soft firm. So here, we're actually much softer than we are here. This is definitely much firmer. There's no give here, whereas here, there's a little bit more give. So right, if you're driving 10 and 3, it's nice. Or should I say 9 and 3? 9 and 3, it's fine. If you're driving here, you're going to feel the actual support of the steering wheel inside here. So going on, we have our Lexus symbol here. Very nice plastic airbag. We have our switches here. So volume up, volume down, move up and down, and then the modes, that switches in between there, which I'll show you. Answer the phone, decline the call. We have our speaking navigation. We have just to navigate the menus, so up, down, left, right, and then enter. The different menus within the screen, return, the lane assist, and then also the radar for the cruise control. This part is plastic. It's a hard plastic that's around, but it's indented out, and then it, or should I say, it protrudes out here, and then it indents in here on this part. What I don't sort of understand, I'm not sure if this comes out. So this goes behind this part here, which is plastic, and then it comes out here. So if you can see in between there, it's like this whole huge thing, and this is just mounted to it. So you can see this is one piece, and this is one piece. I'm not sure why they couldn't just make it flush. I don't know. It doesn't really do anything. It's not a button or anything, but it's there. Something I noticed right away, just because it does protrude a good amount, because the steering wheel still, it slopes up, but this part just sticks out. So I'm not sure why it's there. Maybe from a design element, it was easy, but hey, there you go. So what we have here is our lighting stock. So you can see here's a little indicator. So if I want to get lights on, the low lights, or should I say high beams, lights, auto, or daytime running lights off, just leave it in auto. Up is blinker right, left is indicator left. The interesting thing about this is they don't lock. So if I put it all the way up, it doesn't stay there. It'll activate the blinker and it'll stay on until you complete a turn, but there's no audible click or physical click down when you finish indicating. So what I mean is some cars have where you do a half step when you're, let's say, changing lanes, and it'll keep it for 3 seconds and it'll go away. But when you indicate right, you press it up and usually it stays like this. And then when you turn the wheel, it'll go back down to the neutral position. Or if you go left, it'll stay like this until you complete the turn and go all the way. For some reason here, it doesn't. This is a regular step and you go all the way, and that's full all the way, but it goes back to neutral. Something weird. I've seen myself sometimes having to go back to the neutral position, or let's say I'm indicating left, I go up a little bit to cancel it, to go back to neutral instead of it just coming back. Just something different with Lexus. They sort of automated it where if you make the turn, it'll stop itself, but just a little interesting tidbit there. Nothing here. Here we have our automatic wipers. So wipers here, we could just press auto and it'll auto work there. I have never actually seen a light for auto windshield wipers here, but it's here. So when it's on, it'll let you know that it's actually on, and it senses rain. So it'll turn green, and then you could choose your speeds here. So up is fastest and all the way down is the slowest. You could have it there. Just show you a little better position. It's kind of awkward. There we go. And then up, off is all the way, and then high is all the way down. So you can choose it yourself. Here we have our cruise control with radar. So pretty interesting to set. I couldn't do it in manual mode or in sport mode. I had to do it in drive normal, which is fine because most cars actually have it that way, that you can't do it in sport mode. You have to do it in normal because you're doing economic driving. Why would you have cruise control if you're in sport mode? But Just a little tidbit there. So cancel, if you just go down, in if you want to set it. So there's a little button here, just press it in and you set it. Down, you hold it, and that sets the speed, and then you could adjust up and down as you wish. And then we'll go into the paddles last. So down paddle, up paddle. I initially thought these were metal. They look metal, they're not, they're plastic. As far as grabbing, what's interesting is you would think that your finger can reach this. It really doesn't. When you're here, you're mostly pressing the back part that protrudes out here rather than this button. I mean, you can't even, so if I'm here and if I'm trying to press this, I can't. It's more, I have to press here. So this just sticks out just to let you know it's the down paddle, but you're really just pressing this back part. You can't really have enough leverage to press the top part of this. It has to be the bottom part. So just another interesting thing, but that's the steering wheel. We'll move here. We have some buttons here with a lot of blanks, automatic lights. We have our odometer trip. We have the brightness for the screen here. So up, down, so lower the brightness or increase the brightness. We have our trunk release here, or should I say, so our hood release here and our trunk release here. We have our airbag here on the bottom. We have our emergency parking brake here, but the car turns it on itself. So once you put it into park, you could feel the brake pedal depress itself, and you don't really need to use that. That's just manually whenever you want to. Start stops up here. Actually a really nice place to put it. It's visually right in your line of sight, so you know where it is. So I didn't have to go fishing for it. Sometimes, you know, for example, Audi has it here, so if someone gets in there, they can't really find it. If you forget, it's kind of interesting that they have it here. Usually you think the volume is there, but having it right in your line of sight is nice. It's a, I'm gonna say it's metal. Feels metal. So metal on the outside, it's illuminated start-stop engine. So very nice. I know this kind of brings cues of the LFA a little bit. I'm not going to go too far into that, but just because this thing protrudes out, it reminds me of it. I know the LFA had the little twisting here things on the dash, which was nice, but you can definitely see where they get the design elements from. So moving on to the center console, we have our nice Lexus clock here. I'll be honest, if I'm here, you can see the glare is there. So from a driver's perspective, most times I can't see it, or should I say on different angles, I can't tell what is, you know, what the time is. So you really have to be, I don't know, looking straight or maybe nighttime. It's illuminated so you can see what's going on, but regardless, very nice. I'm not sure if the detail comes across. You can see there's just so much glare. If they changed out the lens here, I think it'd be much better, but there's, oh, there you go. You can see the design element in the back. It looks like little thunderbolts going across. So very nice. AC, up, down, lock it, unlock it. Same thing for this side. Again, this part just protrudes out, so it looks really interesting. This part kind of goes in. Okay, so touch controls for this, so I'll show you guys by turning on the car. Just because it's really hot out right now. Just wait for that thing to relax. Okay, so we have touch controls, so 72 degrees. If I want it to be warmer, I could touch this part here and it'll go up. Or what I could do is I could slide my finger, and you can see how fast that changes. Positive and negative, really. You can get used to it. See if I slow it slower, you kind of get there. This is just for smaller increments. So it does work. It's just something you have to get used to. We have a temperature on either side, where it's blowing, so how fast the fan speed. So we have auto button here. We have AC off. Could turn it on. There we go. So there's a fan speed here. So if I increase it, increases, or I could decrease. And here I could change the different where the air is going into the feet. Is it going to be going to the windshield, face? I'll just put both just because it's really hot. So we'll just do 70 and do 70 here also. We have a blank here. We have our front defrosters, our rear defrosters also. Recirculating the air, air from the outside, AC, and a dual climate. So for driver and passenger. Here, I'm not sure why this takes up so much space for Lexus, but so if this indicates whether you have your seatbelt on, or the person in the rear doesn't have seatbelt, or the person on the right doesn't have a seatbelt. Not sure why there's 3 buttons there, but I guess it just helps you to tell you who doesn't have their seatbelt on, and then also the lock button there. But I guess this part's not going to be used for anything anyway, so they might as well just put the indicators there, so that's fine. Hazards is there, so just hazards. Airbag off, so this is for passenger, or airbag on, depending if someone's sitting there. There's nobody sitting there, so it's not. So it's off right now. Power controls, so you could twist it. Oh, should I say, let me go to the menu. Twist it, you can see the volume. Oh, there you go, volume goes up, or volume goes down. You can't move this left or right, up or down. Even though it looks like it, you could just twist it to turn it on and off. CD player, eject the CD. Radio, your media, seeking the tracks. Play it, pause, and you also have tune to choose the radio stations. Again, you can't move this up or down. As you can see, I'm not trying to move it up right, left, nothing. You could just only twist these buttons. So here, normally, we have this little tray. You would have the heated and ventilated seats and heated and ventilated seats for driver and the passenger. This car does not have it, but this is where they would be located. So unfortunately, I can't show you guys how well those work, but this is, if you guys don't know, this is actually where you insert a key or something in order to lift this up, and you could then unlock the transmission here. So we have our park, reverse, neutral, drive, manual, plus or minus, so down a gear. So you could either use the paddles up here on the steering wheel or the shifter here. So what's interesting is you have to follow the diagram here. So you have to go to the right and down, in your reverse, down for reverse, and then all the way down for drive, and then left as it says for manual, up a gear, down a gear, drive, neutral. As you can see, I'm following the pattern. Park. Nice leather shift boot. Nothing too much going on, but it's also not crazy design either. So I think it works. I think it fits the car. So we have Eco here, so you just twist it. So if I twist Eco, you can see it turns blue. It shows you Eco, so you're driving economic. Push for normal, it has just a normal thing. And if you do twist it to sport, it turns red to let you know that you're in sport. Push it there for normal. That's really it. There's not much else that happens with this. Snow, you press snow. You have snow mode, just turn that off. You have traction control. So what's interesting, you have 2 stages. You can press it once. Traction control is turned off. But if you hold it down, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4, there you go. The pre-collision brake system is unavailable. So you have everything off. So all the sensors for braking, for pedestrian, everything is off, and then you actually have full traction off. So initially, when I tried this, I had just the 1 stage off, and traction control still came in. So I wasn't really sure what was happening, but you need to turn it completely off in order to have, you know, any of that all-wheel drive fun that you want to have. So turn that back on. This is just a parking hold, but I need to have my seatbelt unbuckled in order to have the brake hold, turned on. So let's go to this next, but we have a cup holders here. Good size, good depth. Actually, I would say decent depth. If you guys ever watched the Mercedes videos, it kind of like, you know, I complained about cup holders not having enough depth, and then you have something that's pretty tall, it's going to just lean over. This is maybe a little bit deeper, not too much, so if you have something that's pretty tall. But the thing is, these springs are pretty strong, so I'm going to have to give it to the Lexus that it's much better than Mercedes in that regard. This one actually holds on to the drinks pretty well, so if you have something that's pretty tall, it's going to hold it on really tight. Okay, so here what we have from Lexus is we have a trackpad. So if you see there, I can move it. The problem becomes, see, let's say I'm over here in audio. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get both, but if I want to get to, see, I'm trying to get to phone, and I'm trying to move it. You have to move it like little half steps. So if I move too much, see, there I gave it just a little bit of a half step and it still went all the way. So it's really hard to use this to kind of get where you want it to go. Here, if I go really soft, but if you're driving, it's not necessarily the easiest thing to concentrate on the road and also concentrate on how hard you're moving the trackpad. So it's just, you know, it is also touchscreen, which helps out. So that's what I was going to say, is like that's their saving grace, is that you do have a touchscreen. So if you want to go home, or should I say menu, you can touch, you know, info or whatever you want to be. So you could use it that way instead of using the trackpad. You have a home button, so you press home, brings us to the home page, which I'll show you later. Have a menu, and we have return button. Here we have a little space. Oh, should I say this part? This button only comes up on certain menus. I think I'll have to go over that once I start going into the infotainment system. But we do have a little button here. Press this up, glove box. So I have some stuff in there, F90 masks, if anybody wants one. This is nice velvet material here. We have 2 USBs. We also have an aux, and we have a 12 volt in there. So you have everything you need is in here. Really happy to do this. I think a lot of cars nowadays, this is a 2021, so it doesn't have that USB-C as the regular USBs, which kind of interesting. I think these are USB, what are they? Not C's, but the ones right before. So the USB-Cs, you could, you know, twist them whichever way you want them to go in. This is only, as you can see, it goes in only one way. You have an aux in this. So you have everything you need right here in the glove box, which is, I'm not sure I say glove box in the center console, which I really, really like. It makes sense. Some cars have it where you have the aux in the glove box, and you have a USB here, or you have the aux here and the USB over there, and it's just, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Might as well just put everything here, or maybe add a couple extra stuff in the glove box also. But it's a decent size. You can put a good amount. I have my sunglasses here. You could definitely put a bottle of water, potentially here. I think it'll close because it has a good amount of depth here. Nice. So up top, we have our speaker here. If you're speaking through Bluetooth, we have some holders here for the cards. We have our sun visor, which you can unclip, and oh, we can't move them. Nope, it's just fixed in place. And then we have a little mirror. There we go. Slide it out. We have this part. Not much. We just have the SOS here, which is a little flip cover. Flip it closed so you can't press it by accident. Door light, which you just press that, and then that's supposed to be on, but I guess I might have them off. The light, oh, there you go. They're touch lights, so you just press them, and the lights turn on. So here for the mirror, you can see it's not a frameless design. We do have a little bit protruding on the outside. We actually have a garage opener here, so I'm not sure if that comes out on camera, but 1, 2, and 3. We have our auto dimming mirrors, or should I say not auto dimming mirrors, but our dimming mirrors. We can turn it on or off with that button there, and then not much else. And then this does not come with the car. This you have to get extra. Now let's take a look at the driver's instrument cluster. And before I get into this, I know we have the physical gauges here. I think Lexus, especially for a 2021, should have a full digital display, but I do appreciate the physical gauges here. I just think a lot of competitors are having, you know, the virtual screens. You know, Audi has it, and some other ones are coming out with them. So I think it just kind of makes sense for Lexus to kind of make that move. I feel like sometimes they might be a little bit behind on the interior game, but that's just my opinion, my point there. But anyway, we have here our engine temperature. So halfway is, you know, normal operating temperature, hot all the way, cold is when you first start off. We have a nice display here, so everything's illuminated, nicely spaced out. Very simple design. And then we have illuminated needle there. We have our park or other information is going to show up illuminated here. Red line, as you can see there, is 1, 2, 3, what should I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, no, it's probably half there. So 68, what is that? 6,800? Probably 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, 6,800 RPM. Then we have our miles per hour here. Again, nicely spaced out. Kilometers on the inside. Very neat, very tidy, very clean. Our fuel gauge here, full and empty. And then a little symbol there tells us that the gas gauge is on the left. Okay, and then so for the actual main, should I say, digital display, I'm going to put it in normal just to kind of give you, there we go, normal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press mode. It gives me, yeah, so mode just gets you to the different audio settings. Bluetooth audio, AM, FM, Sirius radio, or Sirius XM radio, should I say, and then I'm just going to press return here. So that's one thing is, let me see, if I press up on this, not much happens. So yeah, if you press mode, it's just going to go to, yep, so that's what happens. So everything here is for the volume control. So volume up, volume down. Mode is going to be which, you know, do you want FM, AM, Sirius, whatever. And then if you want to change the radio station, it's up and down, as you can see there. What I don't like is that return is all the way over here. So I have to press return to go back, unless if, let me see if I could press this. And then if you press enter, oh no, that's just mode, sorry. Yep, so you're going to have to go all the way over here to press return. I'm not sure why that is, but there you go. We already covered all those controls. So these controls here. So if I press the menus button here, this is going to be our main one. There's a lot of glare coming out. Sorry about that. There we go. So you can see up top, it tells you your temperature, 65 degrees outside. It's 12:41 right now. It tells you your MPG, so 0 to 40, and it tells you what your current is. You could reset it. So I was getting 22.6. Actually, on my drive that I was doing 28, so really good. And you could hold the interior button here, and you could reset it. Pretty easy. Currently in park, we have our miles on the bottom, and that little symbol down there that you see, this thing right here, is our lane assist. So that'll come in every once in a while to make sure you're in the lane. So let me just go down in this menu. So I'm gonna use this button here, but since the screen is so small, I'm just gonna zoom in here. So range, I have 130 miles of range. We can see what the average speed is. Go down again, miles per hour after refueling, after starting. We have our eco indicator. If I'm an eco drive, I actually have not driven an eco, so I need to figure that out to see what this is actually. I think it just helps you drive more economically. We can have our miles per hour there, which is the one I usually keep up there. I have the miles per hour here, and then it shows you my gear. I will drive in manual mode, so it'll show me what gear I'm in here, and then that's really what I look at. I don't even look at these two. Maybe just the miles per hour sometimes, even though I have it here. I just want to see how fast it changes, because this does lag behind sometimes. Press down. We have our tire pressures here, which is nice because some cars have where, hey, it just shows you a tire is out and you don't know which tire it is, or you don't know which pressure. It doesn't show you the pressure, should I say. So it's nice that they included this here. So we're all good here. Go down one more. Gear position will show you. It's really nice, the graphic here. It shows you the actual gears. So as you go up in the gear, those are taller gears. So really cool design there. And if you go down, there's nothing else for info. And that's it. Actually, let me see if I could show you guys. If I do this and I go to neutral, Oh, there you go. Perfect. So that's first, and as you can see how tall the gears are. So very cool. And nothing here. Let me just show you guys that again. Oh, go back. Yeah, nothing else for info. Just the gear information, and that's it. Okay. So you can see all the way up here. So that's our info. Next to it is our music. So if you press right, so just right with this button, we have our FM. We go down to Sirius, Bluetooth, and AM. Not much else. Press right again. We're gonna go to our lane change. So this is really cool. You can turn the radar on. So if you press this, radar cruise, please pay attention to other vehicles. I understand, great. So what will happen is actually there's 3 bars here. So what will happen is it'll measure the distance from the other car and it'll keep that distance. So you could have 3 bars, which is the farthest, 2 bars, and 1 bar, which is the closest. So let's say there's a car in front of you and you want to go, let's say 65 miles an hour, but the car in front of you going 60. It'll pace the car in front going 60. If they move out of the way, it'll speed you up to 60. I've had it where I set it to 80 miles an hour and I was going behind someone who was going 70, which was fine. And then it downshifted the gear and sped up to 80, which was pretty interesting. But you just have to pay attention to what speed you set it to, but you could adjust that through here as well. And you don't have to have the radar on. I initially thought you had to, or should I say you don't have to have, it's not based on just distance. You could also have just the cruise control without it reading anything in the front. It's just when a car does come in front, it does read the distance in front. It will match that car. And you could also set it through this. So there you go. Just go here and let me see if there's another menu in here. I don't think so. I think it's just a radar. And this is going to be your warning messages here. So I have no messages, but this would be like a flat tire or, you know, suspension failure. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but any other messages you need to know will show up here. If you press right all the way. So here's your settings menu. RCTA. I'm gonna have to look up and see what that is. But I'll show you guys, I'll tell you guys what that is. RSA, just the radar. So here I'll read what the speed limit signs are. So excessive speed will let you know. I had it on, I had it 25. So if you go up to 26, I think it gives you like a 3 mile an hour buffer. If I went to 27 or 28, it'll start beeping, or it'll beep pretty loud and it'll stop. It's not a nice beep. And then there's other signs you could press too. So press that. It's either only visual, audio, and visual. So if you wanted to have the speed limit there, maybe just make it visual because the audio one is very annoying. Turned it on this, 5 minutes as soon as I got into the car. The clock, do you want it to be a 12-hour or a 24-hour? You can just press the button, yes, switch it that way. Vehicle settings in here, scheduled maintenance and oiled maintenance is all there. So, and that's really all your menus that you have in here. Not much else that you really need, to be completely honest. Not much customization, really. I mean, the sport mode really doesn't change anything besides the color, and eco, same thing, makes it blue. But there's the instrument display. So now we're going to cover the main infotainment system here. So I'm going to use a touchscreen just because it's simple, but again, you have the trackpad here. It's just, I understand what they were trying to do. So if you were at the menu and let's say you want to get the right corner, you press that button and you go into a separate menu. Press the bottom corner, you go to a history. I get it. It's just the tracking on this is a bit wonky. You have to have the right sort of touch in order to see. It just skips over. So if I just do, I can't show you guys both, unfortunately, but see, I just did a little half step. I wanted to go to apps and it goes into phone. So I'm just going to show you guys this way. So if you press the home button down here, what you have is you have your radio here, you have your latest, and then you have this. So this car didn't come equipped with the navigation package. You can get one, it just doesn't come equipped. What's really nice is plug your phone into the USB. Let's say you have maps open and you have Android Auto, just comes up instantly, works perfectly because that's what we used. If you have Apple, same thing, Apple CarPlay, just comes up super easy, works. So really nice. So don't worry if you don't have navigation. Most people I think use their phones anyway. So you can just use your phone and it works really well. You can zoom in, zoom out, everything, put in the destinations. It works really, really great. So not much else happening here. Battery there for the phone, but that's really it. So it's just, I'm not exactly sure how you go back from this, but let me just press menu. So you have our audio, just press audio there. So you have XM here, so let's say we press up here, we have our sources. So AM, FM, XM, we have disc, USB, Bluetooth, and aux. You could also reorder them if you want to. Here we have our presets, so station presets, which you could change also, and you could have a slider here, so you could go to anywhere you want. Yeah, this kind of just like, everything's nice, it works. I just think, Lexus kind of, they might need to update their infotainment system. It looks a little outdated, to be completely honest, for 2021. Should be a little bit nicer, maybe make the graphics a bit more crisper. Yeah, that's probably the one one gripe I kind of have with this is everything's nice. It's just the infotainment system needs to be updated. It looks outdated, and it just the way the integration works, it's not all there, to be completely honest. Excellent. You have a replay. You have our stations list here. So your favorite stations, genres, you could post there. You have our options right here. You have our sound. You have a treble. Do that. The fader and the balance. Surround on or off. And see, so you can't go back to where you wanted to. You can only go back here, and it seems like it's kind of like the internet or tabs, where if you press back, you only go back through all the menus that you've been through already. So you have to press menu. So phone, I don't have anything paired, but you have your phone there. So you could add, you could remove the device, or should I say preferred device settings, or you can remove some. Device settings, just default, preferred phones. Apps, you press apps. We have Lexus notifications. You also have Lexus Wi-Fi. You can also update them. And that's communications, and that's really it. Projection, so if you connect to your phone, it's kind of like the navigation. I'll just project what you have there. Only Apple CarPlay came up on our phones that we started using, or on the phones that I started using, but I'm not sure if there's something else you could project on there. I doubt you could play, videos or music, or should I say videos from YouTube, or something that you could watch, or a movie. I think really the navigation is probably what it's used for, since this one does not have a navigation package. Info. So here you can see what your average speed from start is, elapsed time, range, over time, how much miles per gallon you're getting, your history. So if I press history, as my trips, there you go. I can update and clear that. There you go. All right. Eco, so I have vehicle alert. When do I need my maintenance? It says there, or when it was performed, or what it's required. We have our owner's manual here. I shouldn't have pressed that, because it's probably going to go to the internet. Ooh, look at that graphic. Oh, those are those lights that I was talking about. Save your owner's manual. It actually came up much faster than I expected. And you have your owner's manual there, so I'm going to go back to menu. You have setup. You can set up the clock, language. So how many languages here? We're just 3 languages. It's usually the main sort of 3 languages that I see in cars. Customize the home screen, so you could change the layout, what information you want to display. So that's nice. I originally thought you couldn't, but you can, so you could add and adjust things as you want. The projection settings, see, so that's what I thought. Projection settings, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is on. You can turn it off. I'm not sure why you'd want to, but you can turn that off if you want to mess with somebody saying that, hey, my Apple phone is better than your Android because it works, or hey, my Android is better than your Apple than you work. See, Lexus, I don't know like what you're doing. I don't like that. Beep sound. So beep, I've been messing with. I thought it was the bumper sensor, but it's not. I'm not exactly sure what the beep is. I thought it was the beep that helped me with the speed warning, but it's not that either, so I'm not exactly sure. The theme. So you could change the theme. You could have blue. You could have gray. Does that turn out gray for you guys? Blue, gray. I guess that's it. I guess it's just blue or gray. Let's make it blue. I like blue. Unit of measurement is there. Feedback force, so how much feedback you want from, not exactly sure which one that was. Cursor speed, fast, oh, there you go. So let's make it normal. Maybe now the cursor will work a little better. Multi-touch command is on, that's just the touchscreen. Keyboard layout is QWERTY, but you could also make it alphabetical. Memorize keyboard functions on, so can I scroll? Yeah, you can't scroll, you have to go here, which is annoying. Animation on, delete. Software update, software updating, software information, and that's it. Okay, Bluetooth is here. There's no Bluetooth device. Okay, great. Audio, common or radio, okay. Phones, same as we had before. Your voice. This is all the voice settings for the prompts and also for navigation. And we have our vehicle settings menu, so vehicle customizations here. Door lock, so you have all the automatic door lock, remote to press, select doors to unlock, auto, unlock feedback lights. And that's it. We have our climate settings and light settings. And then there's the valet mode, and then you also have the dealer information. And that's really it. Not much else, to be honest with you. You don't really need much else. That's it. That covers the infotainment system. Moving on to the rear seats, you can see we also have that frame here, right where the seat pillar is, and this little divider here. Same sort of faux leather with that lock, unlock symbol, that plastic door handle. Soft leather here, a bit more hard here. Piano material here, piano black should I say, with the window switch. The red leather, which this is actually much softer than from the front for some weird reason. We have our red stitch here that goes across, that's black. More foam. There's no storage here in the back, which I just noticed, so your passengers can't stow anything. A speaker here. Let me just move the seat in front so I can fit in there. So sitting inside, I have the driver's seat sort of where I would be. There's a decent amount of leg room. I think I need to move it up just a little bit more. You do have, this pouch really does not stretch out at all, so you can't really fit much in there, maybe like 2 or 3 bottles and that's it. But not much storage space for the passengers, to be completely honest with you. But okay amount of leg room. This is the IS, so it is a smaller version, or should I say a smaller model on Lexus's range. We do have the AC controls here, so you move them left and right, up and down. No button to turn them on and off, and this is also plastic. Same thing there. Anything up here? We do have rubberized grip here on the handle. Nice little holder here for your clothes. Show you guys the seats. So we do have the perforations here. We have that droid sort of looking head there. Black seat belts, perforations here on the bottom. Not much else. We do have a little headrest here. It looks really, really small. And you can adjust them there. You have a little button you can adjust. So pulling this out, we do have a nice little leather grab handle there. Pass through. And to my disappointment, there is no cup holders. There is no cup holders and you can't open this up at all. So just a little cushion there and that's it. So you can just rest your hand. Yeah, I'm actually, that's actually, trying to see if I'm missing it, but I don't see, yeah, there's no cup holders here either. Okay, I guess no cup holders for the IS. And you do have lights here. So you have there, we have the main lights, and then you can turn those both on, and then this, I guess, turns on when you open the doors to help you, so it's illuminated. One thing I want you to notice too is here you actually have more headroom in the front for the driver and the passenger as it goes up and it actually swoops down here. You see there's a dramatic swoop down here, so you have a little bit less headroom for the passengers. Taking a look at the trunk, press the button, it does not open up, you have to kind of open it yourself. You have a trunk release here, little handle here, not much else on the top part. It does look pretty small. The loading area, as you can see, there's not much. Because of the design of the back of the car, you really don't have much space. It doesn't really go far in, so you have something heavy to put in. You have to kind of put it down and forward, so your back is really going to start hurting. So I guess this is kind of where the ES and the other models come in for Lexus, because it's so small. I feel like the trunk really should, the entrance anyway, should really end here. So we have this much space that's really protruding out. We have a reverse light here, by the way, also. But the trunk itself is a decent size. It's just the loading area is a little awkward, if I'm honest. Here we have a little net here, which you could put nice Lexus carpeting. We have the hooks here. So we could fold down the seats, no pass through. So just fold down one side and the other side. So if you are carrying skis, you would have to fold down that side there. Do we have anything here? Let's see. Yes. So if we put the okay, then let's check underneath. So if I remove the carpet, move this up, there's our spare. We have our tools here. That's really it. Passenger's door, or front passenger's door, should I say. Same thing, except you have a lock and unlock button with the window. Nothing different from the driver's side. Same controls for the seat and everything else. Let's just climb inside and see what we have. So we have the same AC sort of control here on the right, the same sort of design. We have a nice red stitching here on the middle part. And again, this protrudes out really far. It's really hard to capture that on camera, but you could see my knees here just regularly sitting, and this is almost the same length actually from the dash where your leg is. So it does feel a little bit claustrophobic. If you look to the left, it feels okay, but anyway, we have our dash here, which has this sort of 2-shelf design. From the passenger seat, you could tell that that's there. So that's why I really don't understand why this is protruding out. You could really give yourself a much more airy and open cabin by moving this back, but maybe that's what they were going for. I'm not sure why. Okay, and then so we have our button here to press. So we have our glove box. Decent size, you can put the booklets in there. You have a nice little shelf up here. It's probably one of the better ones I've seen. You do have a partition here, you have a shelf, so that makes more sense than some of the smaller glove boxes they see in other cars. So go Lexus. And you could also lock it here. And that really wraps it up, guys. I mean, the same sort of sun visor here, the same rubberized grip for this, and that's it. The one thing I did want to say is the seating position when you first get in, and I want to do a driving review of this car also, so I'll probably mention that there, but I'm 6 foot, I'm not super tall, but I put the seat down all the way down, and it just feels like you're sitting on the very bottom of the car, and the seating position is the seat itself is very comfortable, it's just the driving position is uncomfortable. I'll try to cover that more in the driving review, so if you guys want to watch that and see what I think about the seating arrangement here. And that covers it for the interior in-depth review of the 2020 Lexus IS300 all-wheel drive. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm also going to be trying to do a driving review of this car, so be on the lookout for that. And thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you leave a like, comment if there's any questions you have on this car, anything at all, and make sure you subscribe. It really does help us out a lot. So guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.